Welcome to today's market report.
The S&P 500 and Nasdaq made fresh record intraday highs on Wednesday, led by financials and energy, as investors look ahead to the Jackson Hole Symposium later this week for further clues on monetary policy. The S&P rose 0.3% and remained close to its earlier intraday record of 4,500. The Dow Jones gained 0.2%. Nasdaq climbed 0.4% after hitting an intraday record of 15,000. The tentative move higher in the broader market was led by financials, mostly banking stocks, as Treasury yields continued to make up ground, with the 10-year yield rising above 1.3% and following a dip last week. JP Morgan, Citizens Financial Group, and Bank of America were more than 1% higher. Higher interest rates boost the return on interest that banks earn from their loan products. Energy turned positive, adding to recent gains after oil prices rebounded on data that showed that weekly US crude supplies fell more than expected. Crude inventories fell 2.979 million barrels last week, compared with analyst expectations for a draw of 2.683 million barrels. On the earnings front, the ongoing global supply chain woes continues to feature in the quarterly reports, with both Urban Outfitters and Nordstrom warning of further pressures ahead. Nordstrom slumped 17% after announcing that it would only be in a position to return cash to shareholders by the end of the year, amid rising costs that are expected to continue into the second half of its fiscal year. Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft were in the red, while Facebook, Google, parent Alphabet were higher. On the economic front, durable goods orders fell slightly in July, paced by a decline in aircraft orders following a rebound earlier. Durable goods orders and shipments suggest that manufacturers are beginning the long, arduous process of replenishing empty shelves. According to Grant Thornton, higher prices and an end to stimulus checks are also taking a toll on demand. European stocks ended unchanged on Wednesday as losses in Italian utilities outweighed gains in travel and bank stocks, while global markets were range-bound ahead of a policy update from the US Federal Reserve this week. The region-wide Stoxx 600 index closed largely unchanged at 471 points after a record close on Wall Street. The European benchmark itself was just less than 1% away from its peak. Travel and leisure stocks gained 1.8% to hit their highest level in almost 2 weeks. German stocks fell 0.3%. Business morale fell for the second month running in August as companies took a dimmer view about the coming month due to the rising numbers of COVID-19 cases and supply bottlenecks, a survey from the IFO Institute showed. IHS Markit survey showed the pace of Eurozone businesses growth dipped from July's 2-decade high. Equity markets outside China have not yet seen the usual wobble associated with a PMI rollover, so could be vulnerable, according to Citibank. Nevertheless, past experience suggests that investors should buy any dip as long as another global recession is not imminent. A Reuters poll of 18 strategists predicted strong earnings will keep European stocks around current record levels for the rest of 2021, while worries related to US monetary policy tightening, the German election, and a Chinese regulatory crackdown will cap gains. Investors are watching German election updates. An opinion poll released on Tuesday showed the center-left Social Democrats (SPD) polling ahead of Chancellor Angela Merkel's Conservatives for the first time in 15 years, with a month before the vote. On the FX front, GBP/USD is pushing higher on Wednesday, albeit lacking conviction, with markets counting down to the Fed's Jerome Powell's keynote speech on Friday. GBP/USD is trading at 137.64, up 0.27% after drifting up from a low of 1.3696 to a high of 137.66 in what could be a final shakeout in the greenback and positioning ahead of the Jackson Hole that starts on Thursday. The US dollar is losing some of the earlier traction made on Wednesday after 3 straight down days. The dollar index continues to find support near 92.8, which is important, for otherwise it will be staring into the abyss not much below there. Still, most major currencies remain within recent trading ranges ahead of Jackson Hole, and in the absence of critical data, this period of consolidation is likely to persist into Friday. Euro-dollar is at 117.60.
This is today's market news. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.